Hello, welcome back to Engerati Studio. We are here at European Utility Week and I am joined by Carolina from Terna. Hello and
Hi,
welcome. Thank you for joining us today.
thank you for having me.
Fantastic. Could you tell us a little bit about your role at Terna and what projects you're working on at the moment?
Yes, so Terna is the Italian TSO, Transmission System Operator, and within Terna, I am the Head of Innovation, Research and Development. One of the biggest projects that we're working on, this is definitely one of those that we're best known for, are energy storage. We have been approved for 75 megawatts of energy storage solutions. These are battery storage solutions within our high voltage transmission grid. But one of the biggest objectives I have for the next year or a couple of years is to bring the active demand market in Italy. So this is DSR in Italy, as well as development of smart island projects and hybrid systems within our Italy's smaller islands, the non-interconnected ones.
Okay, fantastic. And who are you hoping to meet at Utility Week, or what are you here to do this week at the show?
So I am meeting a couple of other TSOs, especially the American ones. I'm really looking forward to meeting with PJM, which is the Eastern Coast, U.S. Northeast transmission system operator. Not exactly, they have a different energy system, but some of my European colleagues as well, such as National Grid or Red de France and so on. These are people that are much more ahead of Terna when it comes to demand-side response. We can exchange some information on energy storage since we're the ones who are ahead on that one.
Okay. So in terms of the energy storage, and where are you seeing the most progress on or off the grid?
Well, most progress right now is unfortunately out of Europe. It's being done mostly in the United States. And that would be on the grid, even though there is a lot more since Elon Musk made his declaration, the Tesla declaration on the Powerwall a few months ago. There's a lot more consciousness from the side of the end user, so retail user, as to how to use batteries in your own home. So I think there will be a lot of push in that direction, but right now most of it is happening at a grid scale level. It's easier for a big company or a grid company to deploy these systems than it is for your normal mom and pop to put a battery in their kitchen. I mean, it's still a new object.
Okay, fantastic. And where is that business case, or where is the case for grid scale energy storage in the smart grid?
So again, it depends on the application they use it for. When you say grid scale energy storage, people just expect it to have one technology or one type of use, when really there is a wealth of applications and different services that these systems can provide. So as a TSO, of course, I'm used to thinking of any tool that I put on my grid able to provide those services that I need. So I need to compensate reserves. I need to do primary. I need to do fast regulation. I need to do secondary reserve with it. You cannot do tertiary reserve with energy storage, with electrochemical energy storage, but with pump hydro you do. So that's storage anyway. I'm thinking synthetic inertia, especially in my smaller islands. This is a big issue for, in Ireland, UK, and I heard even Swedish TSOs are concerned about the diminishing of inertia on their systems. So to me, these are my main applications. However, when it comes to energy storage, I think there's nobody in the energy value chain that is left out. So for generators, you can have primary compensation. You can use it for fuel consumption optimization. And, in order to provide certain services, and, for example, in the US grid, they use it in order to be able to respond to the TSO signal in a fast and accurate way. When it comes to the consumer or retail market, you can do some good load shifting with batteries and save on your monthly utility bill that way.
So do you think energy storage will be crucial for things like renewables, distributed generation, and green islands?
Well, absolutely. I'm probably the biggest fan that you have in energy storage right now in Europe, as most of my colleagues know. I think that it's probably the linchpin for renewables in the system. Why? Because it's compatible with the timing. So these are systems that are super fast and there's nothing else in the grid that can behave as quickly as a battery right now. So right now the quickest defense we have on the grid is an interruption. So it pretty much works like an on and off switch. That is the fastest thing that we can do. And usually when you're talking about generators or stuff like that, they have, ramps. So a generator has to start. It goes like, and then you get the full power. And we're talking minutes. And if it's a super turbo gas, latest generation, you're still talking 240 to 300 seconds before you get full nominal power. With batteries, in 90 milliseconds, I'm full online with fuel nominal power. That's invincible on the grid right now.
Okay, and so that's the kind of industry and everything. But let's talk about what you guys are doing. How is energy storage being adopted in Italy, and what's Terna's kind of place in that, and has it worked?
All right. So as I mentioned at the beginning, we have 75 megawatts of battery solutions approved to deploy on our grid. These are divided into two main projects. The first one is for 35 megawatts, and we call it the energy intensive project. And its goal is to handle congestion in the south of Italy. So if you think of Italy as a boot, we're having some congestion problem on the heel of Italy. That's Apulia. In the Apulia region, we have about 800 megawatts of wind power plants installed. And when you get a gust of wind within, a length of maybe 400 kilometers, you get a gust of wind, you get 800 megawatts on the grid, just like that. And we're a very good TSO. I think we're among the best ones in Europe, but nobody's that good. It's like you're turning on and off a nuclear power plant for 5 minutes. So we get congestions. So when that happens, what you do is, up till today, we've been curtailing that energy. But that's energy that, because of the feed-in tariff incentives, we have to pay. So we throw it out, and that's on you guys. That's on the final bill payers, right? So what we're trying to do is to save that energy. So those are my energy intensive projects. Technology I chose is NAS, NGK's NAS, sodium sulfur batteries. Those are the hot batteries. They have 7.2 hour duration. The other project, which is for 40 megawatts, is my power intensive project. And I'm deploying those in Sicily and Sardinia. So these are Italy's two main islands, 20 megawatts and 20 megawatts. But it's divided into steps. I have an initial step, which I call the storage lab, where I'm testing many different technologies of batteries, because no two batteries are alike, I found out. And then I will deploy the remaining 24 megawatts full scale on the islands. So what results am I getting? Some good ones, some bad ones. I have been sorely disappointed by some solutions. I have been extremely happily surprised by others. But all in all, it works. It really works. And it works good.
Yeah,
so it's exciting,
Yeah,
it's
it's
good
exactly
things.
what you want. So you're kind of referring to the technology you're using at the moment. What technologies are you looking forward to in the future? What are you looking forward to seeing?
So there's a saying in Spanish that my mom says. Every time she wants to buy something, she says she wants it bueno, bonito y barato, which is it works well, it's pretty, and it costs nothing. Okay, so if I were to tell you what my goal is for the future, I want a battery that is buena, bonita y barata. That's what I want. But truth is, right now, I'm trying to find the best match for technology, for application. So it's difficult to tell me exactly what it is, because it depends on what you use it for. What are the best pair of shoes that you own? You don't know. It depends on where you're going to go with it, because you're not going to be wearing Manolos to go here, for example.
Yeah.
That's a waste of excellent Manolos. But you're not going to be wearing your tennis shoes to go to, like, the Oscars or something like that. So which are the best shoes? I don't know. It depends on what I'm using them for. Same thing goes with batteries. Depending on what use I have to make of it, I'm going to choose and select the best technology. And the price, you know what? It's worth it if the application is worth it.
Perfect. Yeah, good fit. Okay. And I suppose to summarise the discussion, and something I quite like to ask my other interviewees, what advice would you give to other, system operators and DSOs as well? What advice would you give them?
So I would tell my colleagues, that, you know, the energy world is changing. We call it a shift in paradigm, which is a big word to say that people are becoming more aware. I mean, people are becoming more responsible, and all of us, are more conscious of what our impact is on the environment. Some people recycle. I used to live in an area in Rome where you had to recycle. So then I moved houses, and in the new house, in the new area, there was no recycling. I felt terrible. I felt like I was cheating the environment or something like that. So I was still differentiating all my trash, even though there was just one single pickup for all of it. But you see, the change had already happened in me. So that's what's important. People do change. They change their habits, and this becomes permanent. So the change is happening. People are more aware. Almost everybody's considering putting some, solar panels on the roof. The news is out about the climate changing and everything. So we're moving towards what we call a distributed generation, where everybody's thinking even of going off grid because they think it's harmful. What we're doing in the grid and what the main generation power plants are doing is harmful to the environment. They don't want to be a part of that. So my advice is don't fight it. Embrace the change, and try to make the best of it. Try to support it. Try to find your role in the future scenario. Don't try to hold to your role in the present scenario, because that's the best way to die.
Please do join us at Engerati.com for more interviews that will be taking place over the next 2 days. Thank you.